All right, and this is EaglePBL AI Mentorship System by Dr. Burak Cankaya, Associate Professor for the Worldwide College of Business. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. This is Burak Cankaya. I am an associate professor at Worldwide College of Business. This project is something I proposed for academic innovation research fellowship, and good enough that we have such a division in our university because in the changing learning environment recently we have to do that, and we're very lucky to have such center, I believe, to support our innovative actions to showcase pilot our innovations in teaching. So on this project, I proposed a AI mentorship system where we can conduct project-based learning. I am teaching mostly analytics courses, BS Business Analytics courses. I design and teach most of those courses, and in the virtual and especially asynchronous virtual template learning environment, which I believe maybe more than 90% of our courses are happening that way in worldwide. The content is pretty static in the traditional way, and analytics is not something that you can teach by essays. Even the discussions and stuff, you gotta have hands-on skills. You gotta teach that you can apply those coding skills, apply that analysis skills, your research skills. If you can ask the right research question, business question, if you can build a proof of concept, if you can show your skills to guide either yourself or leadership, depending on the research task, or business task you have as an analyst or data scientist, whatever your role is. But it should be hands-on. That's why our courses here are mostly hands-on and project-based. I almost have no tests, no exams, maybe a few quizzes in these courses. And the hard part of it is you're not only doing the teaching on that one and proctoring how you teach those analysis, but also tools. And that's a different kind of animal. Teaching a tool is a very different type of teaching than how you do analysis. And in many purposes, we don't want to just teach a tool. We want to be tool agnostic and teach how to do analysis. Let's say how to apply I don't know, reinforced learning algorithm to this data. You can use Python, you can use R, you can use RapidMiner, you can use SAS, there are many tools and languages and different ways to do that. But the main way, the main thing we need to do is reinforced learning, not Python, not SAS. But we have a certificate program with SAS, and we mostly teach the courses in SAS. But what happens at the end of the day as the teacher, I would say majority of our time is going with being the lab assistant for SAS or RapidMiner or Python, whatever you do. Because in the traditional way of teaching of these courses, there is a class and there's a lab class, and there's typically a lab and a lab assistant and a teaching assistant that students, when their computer crashes, their software crash, but they have a bug, they take it to these people and fix it, and then can focus on the real assignment, what they're gonna do. But in ours, it's different, and today I'm gonna try to showcase how we can have a solution to these type of problems in our teaching environment. Take this off. Okay, so I talk about the nature of the analytics, and the traditional assessment methods is limiting us in the word-wise learning structures. No essays. Yeah, I have discussions, but they shouldn't be that much important to. The most important thing is if you can do the analysis in the project, if you can do the prediction, if you can do the descriptive analysis, if you can do the prescriptive analysis. Even the tool is not that important. It is important, of course. It's important to learn SAS because they're going to get a SAS certification. They get in different courses, they get like 3 different trainings, which are about like 10, 12 hours in average each. And they take 4 courses and they get a SAS certification out of it. But it takes maybe a year or 2 years for students to take the training and get this course that they're going to use that software, and they forgot all about that training. And even in training, they can be successful by just clicking next in the training, and maybe just being a little smart on taking some notes. They don't do hands-on in that training. The majority of the time is, and frustration by students is it's going to this teaching the tool and debugging and being the lab assistant, and it's frustrating for students because they get used to do the assignments on Sunday nights and spend a couple hours and write the essay and send, and they sit down to their computers on Sunday and they see that the software is crashed or they have a bug, and or something is not clear about the assignment that they can't understand. They want to do that, and it needs communication with me on that. And of course, I'm not always available at I don't know, 11 p.m. every Sunday night, and they got frustrated out of it, and that caused many students burnout, and so that's why, of course, I remind them to do it earlier in the week. Or I am also changing the course structures right now to have like 2 week submissions for projects, so that they have time after their feedback to fix their assignment. And so, but a better way is to have a 24/7 live agents in the course to give them assistance about the project and about the software tools they're using. It might be multiple tools in some courses, not just one course. And what I'm gonna show today later as a demo, I'll ask questions about different tools, and in some cases, there are multiple tools in just one course. So you can say that, so why does SAS doesn't have that AI chatbot so that students can do that? I'm sure they will have it in a couple of years, but they don't have it yet as far as I know. And it's not just SAS for us, it's multiple things. It's the project knowledge, what you're going to do that week. you have some, I've given some information in the project description in each of those courses, but you know, students, they vary. So they sometimes want like literal answers, and sometimes even though I tell them that you gotta be software agnostic, you gotta be solution I mean, the tool is what you're agnostic of. When I ask them something, I want a result. They can use whatever tool, but do that analysis I want and give me an acceptable answer that they can present to their I don't know, leaders when they're working in the industry. But they sometimes want literal answers. I've seen like funny cases that they just, some of them just got stuck with just one word that they can't, like they didn't interpret that, and that caused the issue. That's why I think we need a live 24/7 agent in our courses, in analytics courses. I'm sure in other courses it might be very helpful too, because the project-based learning is has applications in all of the fields, not just analytics. And when we integrate in our teaching, it might be helpful. Okay, so uh, the main problem is I think I mentioned most of it, but our asynchronous static courses need more engagement, and we don't have that computer lab courses and TAs to help with those courses. That's why it is going to ease the students' job, faculty's job, and also their I think satisfactions out of the courses if we have such AI agents in our courses. So Gen AI is very good on well-documented repetitive tasks, and this is a well-documented repetitive task. Even it might have some edges where the faculty needs to involve and interpret the communication in between the agent and student. But the best thing Gen AI can do, give them a documentation and ask details about it and questions about that. The best applications are insurance companies about their claims, let's say, because they're well documented in those documents. But you know, when you sign an insurance, you're signing thousands of pages. None of us read the details of that and can remember that. But if the company develops a Gen AI, the user can engage with that and find their the details of their insurance and how much loss they cover, or what's covered, what's not, that kind of questions. So in our case, our syllabus has really good details. Our project description has really good details. Our the software documentation has really good details, but they're all over the place. And when you write it to Google, you can't easily find all those things. Some of them are hidden behind some walls, or it can't be the traditional Google search easily. But when we develop our own agent AI, which the hottest topic currently in the Gen AI world is those agents, because you know, everybody talks about AI replacing jobs, and I made a lot of you know, presentations and discussions around it for us. The first thing it does currently is being an agent for different purposes, and the better documented and repetitive task it is better. That's why in this project I used it as a as a teaching assistant and lab assistant for project-based learning in our analytics courses. It's currently not deployed to a class directly, but I see it might help a lot. And depending on the future discussions, we can pilot this in a course and see how it works. I will currently use it as a way to see how it can be helpful, maybe shared with a couple of students and see get their input and make it better. But I believe it is pretty good in many tasks. The objectives are helping the faculty and project, because as I say, the students get frustrated and ask a ton of questions and not timely. And faculty, as a faculty, you can't answer all the things at the time. Sometimes, I am like I received the email late at night. Maybe I'm not at home, or I'm not with my computer. I really cannot answer the student's question because I gotta go to the documentation in SAS or the course syllabus and so on, and give a student good answer. And our students are working adults. Maybe it was the only chance for the student that he was putting towards this course assignment, and he has deployment the next day. Even though I reply it in 24 hours, it might not help. That's why it's nice to have something engaging in that for faculty support. Enhance the student engagement and learning outcomes. It's definitely nice for them to have it, to have career aspirations and input and different look. They can even modify the chatbot EaglePBL to give them for different learning styles, and can teach the topic from different views. And it's definitely a helping hand for them. A sustainable and engaging educational resource. Develop a comprehensive repository of project templates, guidelines, practical examples, for depending on the topic. So for mine, it's analytics, but it might create case studies for students for different learning styles in different topics. I don't know, leadership, I don't know, aeronautics, safety, I don't know. All of those topics, the tool can create different case studies and find case studies. Of course, in our context, it's better if it's like structured, and if the faculty gives it a go. And I'll show that the new agent version of ChatGPT gives you that specifications on you can put constraints on it, and it can only stay in that context. Still, I believe the faculty needs to stay in the loop. If we integrate a tool, stay in the loop and see the communication going on there. But I see it might be structured pretty much. We have piloted a similar application in one of my intro classes, and it's a big class. It's like currently 10 sessions are going on for that course, and it has a agent, Gen AI, named Eagle Tank, where students are pitching their business ideas to this tool, and it's giving feedback to them. And I proctor it, and I did not see any problems in terms of giving student a bad feedback or getting it out of the rails. But still, I think it should be, this is little different structured than that one. EaglePBL is little different structured, and we should pilot it and see if it can be derailed for bad use. But I believe that it can be constrained with the right structure. So the project's plan, which, as I said, I have been selected as a fellow by AIR. Thanks them that they're giving me a chance and supporting this idea. And currently, I developed a model, and then I'll probably, when I see the success, I'll develop some workshops and deploy it to the course and see the future of it. The expected impacts are enhanced teaching the teaching by using this model and agent because the faculty can focus on teaching. As I say, in my analytics courses, even the tools I'm teaching are detailed. And I don't want to even focus on the tools. I want them to be agnostic of the tools and all of those things. I want to focus on teaching the content. If I'm teaching reinforced learning, I want to teach the methodology and the logic, and so that students can benefit from the teaching. But currently, the tools and the project questions and those descriptive questions prevents me to focus on the teaching the context. And it's a good help for that for faculty. For all worldwide and all Embry-Riddle, it's giving you a chance to build a leadership model in educational AI, and gives you a chance to build sustainable resources. By sustainable here, I mean you can feed the model with all those documents, and you can build over the time, and it learns from its feedbacks, and it can get better over the time. I developed a model a couple of weeks ago, and then I gave it feedback. It get better. It got more structured. It learned to stay in the structure I give it over the time. For the students, I think the best importance is for them, and is as students being our customers, they have now a tool where they can reach in 24/7 in an asynchronous environment. It mentors them. It's helping debugging the tools and the issues with the project. With that, I'm gonna so I can talk a little bit about the conclusions of it and jump to the demo. So actually, let me jump to the demo and then come back to the conclusions, because it's that would be better. Let me end the show, and then yeah. Can you let me know if you can see my ChatGPT screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Wonderful. So this is the paid version of the basic paid version of ChatGPT, and I have my regular daily usage, and I'm using as a lot for different purposes. There are multiple tools for multiple applications. Anthropology AI, Google Gemini. I don't know. There's like a ton. They each have different skills. I would say, if you're designing a poster, or if you're designing a InfoVision, I can recommend Canva. if you're designing, I mean, Gemini is really good on some tasks. I would say some analysis, but overall, I would say ChatGPT is still the best one. The DeepMind is also something that's been launched a couple weeks ago, months maybe. It's one of the biggest disruptions because, you know, on these tools, you are using a cloud storage, and it is part of a discussion, but DeepMind has developed a very cheaper model for computation and for launching itself. They just launched the startup for a couple $1 million, and you can download a on-premise version to your computer or your network and run it there internally. And many companies are looking for that because they don't want to share their the details of their business model to the online world. You can keep it out of the shared knowledge, but in many cases, typically it is in, you know, they're using it most for the training purposes, and you don't want to share everything. And the other thing that I was talking are the agents you can build in ChatGPT. Here are my agents. Canva created their own agent and gave a interface here. Here is my EagleTang agent. This is not the real one. Thanks to Alyssa Denaro, we developed it for my other course, and it is already currently running inside Canvas in management MMIS 221. And students don't access it from here. They access it from inside Canvas, where they have Eagle Vision. They have another tab named EagleTang, and when they click, they have a chatbot over there. But I developed the demo version of it before. The other thing I have, for this presentation, I have a EaglePBL bot. It even has a logo for itself, and I'll show the details of it now. So when you create a agent, AI agent, you create it from here, so over here I created that, but I'll show you the details of it. You can enter the logo here, name it, and then give the main description of this tool. Where I said you're a custom GPT named EaglePBL, which is a project-based learning mentor for analytics courses that does technical assistant and teaching assistant for classes that use SAS via RapidMiner, Python, or other and BS level analytics courses. And for the instructions, you can write and construct, give constraints to your agent over here on the instructions, where you develop all these, give these directions. I made a basic version of it where it's actually acting as a teaching assistant and computer lab assistant, and direct students to chat and I tell them, if you got stuck at some point about the tools, go direct them to the chat supports of these tools. And you also can give some of the content and descriptions if you have in online resources about the tools you're using. But you can also give them the knowledge, which is very interesting. I think you might be inspired from this piece greatly if you have. Sorry about that. So where is my? You might be inspired by this piece, because think about you're teaching an aeronautics course, let's say aerodynamics. You can feed that PDF version of the aerodynamics book here, and you can use it. The students, whatever content and context-based question they might have, and if it's descriptive enough, that will answer. Believe me, if it is descriptive enough and if the content and context is well shaped, it will describe from here. You might give it to capabilities to reach Canvas, DALL-E, and web search, code interpreter and data analysis, which in my case it is it gives a lot of power, because I am mostly asking students to do some data analysis, and it might help them with that analysis context. So here you put most of the documentation. I put some basic, not all of the descriptions, definitely, because I don't want to share everything, but some descriptions here about the course project requirements. And when you configure it, when you update it, it's gonna launch the tool. So I launched the tool now, and I'm gonna demo one of the tasks that students got stuck in one of the recent courses I teach, and they really they were really nervous, and they're right about it. I'm sure you saw me hard that it's hard to pick the right word for that, because they really got frustrated. So recently, SAS has been upgraded from SAS Via 3 to SAS Via 4. And on that, they took off some of the computational tools from their user interface. Their user interface completely changed. They were doing the data analysis by clicking prepare data function, but currently it's not there. When you go to the tool, you can't find a prepare data button over there. They were really nervous, and I understand that. Even though I try to ease their life, they spend a lot of time to figure this out. And what I tried here, I give that student emails that they're asking about questions, this SAS Via 3 to 4 upgrades, and by giving that documentation, I find out that it's guiding pretty well, because I can't. So let's say a student emailed me about this. I probably last time it took me 2 days to figure out what's going on, what was the problem, what changed in the tool, how can I solve it. I set up a meeting with SAS. We did a one-on-one. I go over that, and it took like 2-3 days before I get back to the students about the question. But if we had this tool, it would take seconds. They don't even need to reach me. Of course, like they might reach me to make sure that it's right and what it is guiding is true. But in that thousands page of documentation, which I showed, I added there, it's somewhere over there in the details where SAS Via 4 app upgrades. Here is how you substitute the prepare data function, how you can find the hurricanes data. In that analysis, you're trying to predict the path of hurricane with over a database, and they can't reach to that data because of the prepare data function change. So it's saying that you cannot reach it because SAS Via 4 don't have prepared data. And here are the alternative ways to do that. There's a data pane and objects pane. You can click on those and find the same coding interface where you can enter your code, and where you will hook up to this the hurricane data to the system, and you can do the analysis. And for the network analysis, it's doing in that assignment. It's you make sure that, so it's even guiding for the next problem, because when you get the data in, it's typically saying that the data step was not able to promote table hurricanes in cast user, it's even guiding before saying that make sure that data is already loaded in cast. So one of the main problems on this system, and it's obvious in almost all of the IDEs, you need to the data needs to be loaded in that same interface that, let me to put it that way, interpret it that way, and you need to do it manually in this tool too. That's why it's when you try do like run that code, it's gonna say to promote the table and the username should have this library in it. And interestingly, this took me a lot of time because SAS, it doesn't have a lot of resources online. So Python, currently, you can go write something to Google. You will probably find a similar code somewhere, wrote it and put it to GitHub. But SAS is not open sourced, and it doesn't have that big community. That's why it's very hard to find this code and just copy and paste it to your code and run it. But that's what, like, how I find it out is I set up a one-on-one meeting with SAS experts and SAS people, and they gave me this, and then I find out what's the new way of getting this data in my library, and then it worked. So the next thing I ask is so in this course project, I put students in different groups with their last names. If their last name is like A to F, something like that, they do a project about aircraft brands. If it's the same data has airport information, aircraft information, and one more thing, I forgot that, but they're not to be repetitive, they have been grouped in that. So with that context and the input I have in the project, I asked them the context of the course, and it gives me a great answer. And then I ask questions about APA format and how should submission look like, which are common questions coming from the students, and it gives great guidance. And with that, I see that I think my time for presentation is almost over. I didn't see that, so let's start with that. I'm ending my presentation, and I'm
Okay.
open questions.
Yeah, we have about 2 minutes left for the session overall. I haven't seen any questions come through, so we are good. So far I've seen this is a great presentation overall, and as a student, I really like seeing the development of stuff like this, just because of how I'm a Daytona Beach student, but I have taken worldwide courses, and I definitely, from the student perspective, this is fantastic to have, because I understand from the faculty aspect too, you're not always available. So having something here for students to see is fantastic. But does anybody have any questions for Dr. Cankaya?
I did not see how time flows and manage that, but it's an exciting topic for me too, and for students. I'm sure it's I've got positive feedbacks from the other tool, and this one is something even much more helpful. I'm sure that would be helpful. The only thing I will say is in the early phases, the faculty needs to stay in the loop and make sure that it's not giving a wrong guidance, that like there's, it's always about interpreting and the faculty might have a different interpretation, especially when you count the adjuncts in. There
Oh,
might
yeah, for sure.
interpretation, and the faculty needs to stay in the loop that when ChatGPT says something, the faculty is behind that too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for this presentation, and thank you everybody for attending. I'm definitely learned a lot, but I hope to see you in the next sessions.
Wonderful. Thank you. Bye-bye.